Hey, what's up, Life Masters? This is Stefan James from Project Life Mastery. Today I want to share with you how to live from a place of surrender in your life. Learning how to let go in life, which is one of the highest spiritual paths. It's also one of the keys to experiencing more happiness, more joy, more bliss, more love. All of the emotions that we all want to experience so much more of. Now, a lot of what I'm going to share with you today is based on the work of Michael Singer. Michael Singer is someone that's made a huge impact in my life. He's one of my spiritual mentors. He wrote the books called The Untethered Soul and The Surrender Experiment, which are fantastic books that I highly recommend. He's got a great online course called Living from a Place of Surrender. It's one of the goals that I had on my list this year that I recently went through, and I got so much great benefit from it that I felt compelled to do a video and share this with you so that hopefully you can benefit from this as well. Now, the overarching philosophy and the principle of this is that everything in this universe is energy, right? Everything, including us, is made up of energy. And we have an energy system in our body. You can call it the chakra system, right? And we have this energy, this chi, shakti, that's always flowing within us. It's everlasting, it's abundant, and it's always flowing up. And that energy flow is just pure love, joy, happiness, bliss. It's always flowing. But what happens in our lives is that we go through experiences, we have events that happen in our lives that create pain for us, trauma, anger, depression, grief, shame, those negative emotions that create blocks within us. And we have these events that occur, but we create a label to them. We create a meaning of these events. We cling on to these events and these experiences and hold them on inside of us, or we resist them, which create a block. So if you have a river, and in that river there's water that's flowing, energy that's flowing, and it's flowing in a certain direction, and it's constant, what happens if you take a rock and you put that in the river? Well, that's going to create a disturbance in the flow, a disturbance in the force. That energy flow, the water, is not going to be able to flow the same way that it did before. Now, what happens if you take another rock and you put that in the river? It's going to create another disturbance of energy, of the flow. And then you take another one, and then another one, and then another one, and then another one. And then sure enough, that energy, the water, the flow, is not as powerful as it once was. In fact, in some cases, it can kind of be shut off. And what happens in our lives is, a lot of times we wake up in the morning, maybe you can relate, and you just feel okay, right? Or you wake up and you feel sad, or depressed, or lonely, or angry, or frustrated. And most often that's because we have these blocks that we're holding within ourselves that's preventing the flow of happiness and joy and love from naturally flowing within us. And the philosophy of what Michael Singer teaches and what he's about is learning how to let go. Learning how to remove those blocks within us so that the natural love and joy and bliss and all of that can flow. And so really what he teaches is called how to live from a place of surrender in your life. You first have to make sure that when these events happen in our lives that we don't cling on to them, we don't resist them. We just let them to experience as it is. We stay in the present moment. We don't create attachment and meaning and labels, and we just surrender to the moment and trust that everything in life is happening the way it's supposed to. That most often when we're upset, when we're hurt, when we're angry, it's often only because we have expectations and beliefs and preferences that aren't being met, right? And most often, we create these rules and, and expectations that these preferences that the only way that we get to experience happiness and joy is this. All these things have to happen the way that we want it to happen. But sure enough, what are the chances that everything in life is going to happen the way that you want, right? When they do happen the way you want, you feel great, you feel happy, you feel amazing in your life. But most of the time, things are not going to happen the way you want them to happen. So learning how to let go and surrender to life in the moment and not create attachments to all these events and experiences is key. That's number one. But number two is letting go all of these blocks and the baggage that we have that's preventing us from experiencing what's already within us. That abundance of love, that abundance of joy and happiness. So surrender and letting go. So Michael Singer the simple process of this, and this is kind of deep and maybe a little bit hard to explain in a video like this. That's why I recommend his work, because his work is much more comprehensive than what I can share in this short video with you. But it's learning how to relax and let go. Okay, relax and let go. Relax and release, rather, R&R, okay? When events happen in your life, which inevitably they will, things that you're not gonna like the way it makes you feel, or it's not gonna work out the way you want it to work out, learn just to relax and release. Because the moment that you experience the anger, the frustration, you're annoyed, you're driving in your car, the person in front of you is driving too slow, which is just based on your preference. They have the right to drive at whatever pace they want. They're driving the speed limit, right? But the only reason why you're upset is you've created a rule and a belief that has to happen the way you want it to happen, and it's not, so you feel angry and upset. When that happens, or any equivalent of that, you're creating a rock, a block in the river, in the flow, that's going to prevent you from experiencing the happiness and joy. First, when those things have happened, be aware of it. You have to learn to observe your thoughts, observe the mind. Okay, I've shared this before, how the mind is a protective mechanism. It's all about survival. It's always going to look out for threats and dangers. It's always going to look for what's wrong or what's missing. That's the natural default state. It's not there to make you happy. It's not there to make you successful. It's just trying to keep you safe and protect you. So it's always going to point out things that are wrong, that are negative, that are threats, that are dangers. And you have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of how the mind is working. And when it creates these thoughts and beliefs that are not empowering for you, you have to learn how to distance yourself in your mind, to be the watcher, to be the observer of your thoughts, to not attach to them, to not identify with your thoughts, to have non-judgment, non-attachment, which is a very Buddhist philosophy and way of thinking. But when you can do that and you don't cling on, you don't resist, then these thoughts, these events just pass by in your life. You've released them, you let them go, and you allow the next moment to come in and experience that fully in your life. Okay, so that is a process that you have to learn how to master. You got to practice it all day, all throughout the day. Okay, and then learning how to let go of these experiences that we've already had. Now, easier said than done, right? I mean, it is a process. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time. Michael Singer has great techniques for it. Anything that helps you let go in your life and release things, the more it's going to help you. You know, it could be this simple process of relax and release. Most often for myself, I focus on my breath and my breathing, because I often know that when I get stressed or these negative emotions come up, my breathing tightens, my body tightens, I restrict myself, my breathing becomes more shallow, and so I just always remember to relax, release, let go, breathe, okay? That gets you out of your head, because your mind is like the kite and the breath is like the wind. The breath controls where your mind is going to go. So when you breathe, you're automatically getting out of your head and getting more into your body, your heart, your spirit, okay? So that is a great process, but meditation is great, yoga is great, ayahuasca can be useful, spirit medicine, which helps you release things, because these things we have suppressed, they come up during ayahuasca, and you learn how to let go and release it. I mean, even, if you therapeutically can use psychedelics, there's people that use those for these therapeutic reasons as well, of learning how to surrender and release and let go. There's many other ways, right? Even technologies like BioCybernaut that can help. But the simplest one is just relax, release, surrender to life, and understand that you have to experience life just trusting and knowing that everything is happening the way it's supposed to. Every experience, every moment of your life is a gift, and it makes you better. Every moment does. Every experience does. Even the ones that are negative, and they're only negative because of the label and the attachment and the meaning that you're adding to that event and that experience. That's the only way that anything becomes good or bad, because it's all based on our interpretation, the meaning that we create. Nothing in life has any meaning but the meaning that we give it, right? So not creating the meaning, and just surrender, relax, release, and let go. And the more that you can do that, you're removing those blocks, you're allowing the energy to flow, and you'll get to a point where you feel good, you feel happy for no darn reason. You just feel good about your life and passionate and excited, and you wake up that way, and you're feeling that constantly all throughout your life. So that's how you live from a place of surrender. Now, I gave you kind of a preview of the work of Michael Singer. hopefully just that brief concept of what I've shared with you can make an impact in your life. It has for me in so many ways, but I do encourage you to go deeper if this resonates with you. I know some of you might think this is airy-fairy or whatever, and that's okay. You know, not everyone's ready for some of this sort of stuff. I know for me, when I was in my early 20s, I was more resistant to this kind of education and self-development. But, you know, I've learned throughout my years of self-development now, over 15 years, you know, and opened my mind to all different ways of improving myself. And spiritually, it's been one of the most profound ways of really changing my life in so many incredible ways, because other self-development most often is working up here in your head. But spiritual development is more than your mind. It's more than your thoughts. It's your body, your spirit, your soul, the things that are more lasting in our lives that can really create that true deep impact. So Michael Singer is great. If you want to go more in depth with that, Untethered Soul, Surrender Experiment, and Living from a Place of Surrender, his online course. So I wanted to share that with you guys today. Practice letting go, releasing in your life. If you have moments from your past, traumas, experiences like that, it's not until you learn how to let go and release those events that you can allow more joy and happiness to flow into your life. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give me a thumbs up. Of course, subscribe for more videos like this. And thank you again so much for watching. God bless. I'll see you again soon.